Hello. You may be wondering why we're doing a podcast. Well, to be completely honest, we have no idea either. But never mind that. Here on the Boost podcast, we go into the mind of the so called video games. My name is Chris, and here to explore with me is Anthony and Guillermo.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so we have some topics here that we're going to talk about. We have four different topics, and you'll be getting them split halfway throughout the week. One video will come out on Monday, I believe, and then the second will come out on Wednesday. And you guys will be able to see the entire thing probably Friday or Saturday. We haven't decided that yet. The entire thing will come out at once.
Okay, so here on the Boost podcast, very hard name to pronounce. It's not funny at all.
Yeah.
But we will go over the first question here, hopefully answering some of your curiosities about us, to be completely honest. So the first question here we have, what was the first game you bought with your own money?
Okay, so who wants to start off?
Go
I
ahead, Anthony.
guess I can start off. I'll
Okay.
All
start
right.
off. Okay. So the first game that I bought was in 2006. I was that was 9 years ago, and I saved up so much money because I had heard about this game called Sonic Riders. So I saved for like 2 months of all the money I had earned. And then me and my brother went out to the store and then we looked for it for like 3 minutes and then we found Sonic Riders and we were so ecstatic when we found it. And then
Sonic Riders for
Sonic
the.
Riders for the GameCube
Oh,
I
okay.
remember
because
this.
you don't remember this. Well,
I
The
remember this, I
infamous
said.
game.
oh, you remember this, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when we got home, the first thing we did was not even take our shoes off. We ran into our room, opened the GameCube tray, put it in, and then played for like 4 hours before our parents yelled at us.
Get off the
Wow.
console, and you're like, no.
Yeah, that's basically what
I've been
happened.
waiting for months.
I've
Let
been
me have
waiting
this.
for 2 months so I could play this game, and then I finally was able to play it.
No, yeah, I had that game too. It was on. I played it on PS2. I think I bought.
Yeah.
That was the first one I bought the adapter for four-player controllers, or the
Okay.
the adapter for the
Yeah.
Yeah,
PS2.
yeah.
I didn't own that game, but I definitely played it with you when we were younger, Guillermo.
Yeah. That was awesome when we played it.
Favorite
Fun game.
character of all time in that game?
My favorite character was probably Shadow because when you get Shadow, you unlock like the those shoes that you can use instead of the boards.
The
And
board.
when I use the shoes, I don't know why, I just always use the shoes like once I got Shadow.
Because it looks
I
different.
never
You look special. You look unique.
yeah, because
Yeah.
when you're like playing against other AIs, you just see them all in like a normal board, and then you are just like running. It's like you're running through the thing, but you're
You're
wearing
actually
those.
Cynic. You're
You're
running through.
actually Sonic.
Was Sonic able to do that also? I don't remember.
Yeah, Sonic. I think most characters were able to do that. The only ones I don't remember being able to do that were like the robot type things that were made from Eggman.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
Jet was a cool character. Jet was
yeah.
pretty
I
fun to
You
play
love
you
with.
Jet.
you
Yeah,
copied me right now. Yeah. Jet was
Yeah.
my character. That was the guy.
Jet was awesome. I loved the Babylon story when I
Yeah, the
played through
Babylon was
it,
good.
but it took so long for me to unlock it because when we were going through the main story, like with the hero side, we got stuck at the Babylon Garden level because at the time it was the hardest thing in the world. I had no idea how to go through that because you had to be like so good at drifting and I was so young. I didn't even know like most of the controls. I was just
You just
like playing like half-assed through it.
hitting the wall constantly. You're like,
Yeah, I would
ding,
always
ding,
hit the wall.
ding,
I would
That's how you're
fall
supposed
off
to
the
turn,
edge.
right?
Yeah,
You
because there
slow down
was
by hitting a wall and then turning.
and then
yep,
turn.
yep, that's what I did.
And
I
then you
always did.
and then you hit the boost pad. Wink.
Yep,
To make it go a
dude.
little bit quicker, yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I was saying that Jet was a cool character, but I wasn't actually going to say that he was my favorite character. Who was
Uh,
the purple one? Her name was like Wave or something?
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
Wave.
believe her name was
Yeah.
Wave.
Wave? Yeah, I liked her because in the story she was like that character who was like, "Come on, guys, what are you doing?" Like she's calling out Jet and Storm, I believe the other
Yeah,
character was.
yeah.
She was calling them out when they were being stupid. She was like the smart one of the group. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed that.
Wasn't the
And
green one? Wasn't that Storm? I think.
yeah,
Storm,
Storm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Storm the Albatross. I
Yep.
remember that. Jet
I
the
thought he
Hawk
was an
stormed the
owl.
Albatross, and I don't know what Wave was.
A hawk, maybe?
Yeah, I think she was a hawk.
Was she a hawk?
I
Wave
believe
the
she
Hawk?
was a hawk.
Maybe.
I don't know. Something like
She
that.
was
Hawk
purple.
Wave. Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk.
You see what they did there?
That's basically what they did. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
Okay,
that
so
was
I'll
the
go
first
next.
game I bought with my own money. Well,
Okay.
who wants to
Yeah,
go next?
I'll go
Anthony?
next. So as far as I can remember, I believe that the first game I bought with my own money was Pokemon Fire Red. The reason why I bought Fire Red actually wasn't because I'm like, ooh, Charizard's better than Venusaur or whatever. Because
Even though that's
especially
true.
okay, for you that's true. For me right now, at least personally, at this point in time, I like Venusaur a lot more. I think Mega Venusaur is like one of my favorite Mega Pokemon, one of my favorite Pokemon in general. But back then, I probably just bought Fire Red because it was the first one I grabbed off the shelf. I probably didn't care which one I was going to pick at that point. That was the game came out in 2004. I probably didn't buy it till about 2005, so it was still fairly new. I don't know if the third gen games had come out by the time I bought this game, but I don't think they had yet.
I
So
believe they had come out.
they
I
had come
think they
out by
came out a little
2005.
bit after because the third gen games probably came out before, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The third gen game did come out before, didn't they?
Hmm.
Emerald didn't, though. I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't think Emeralds came out before then, but I know those two came out after Ruby and Sapphire.
That's right. Yeah, I never actually owned Ruby or Sapphire. I always borrowed him. But I
Hmm.
did buy Pokemon Fire Red. I remember that was that was probably my second game that I had for my Game Boy before I had lost it mysteriously. In my mind, I just set it down and then it disappeared the next day. But in reality, I have absolutely no idea what happened. I probably just lost it somewhere. I have no idea where it's at still, even today. But
It's it's under your pillow. You never
it's
look.
under my pillow back
Yep.
50 miles away. Yeah, but it was the second game I believe that I had for my Game Boy. The first one was probably Super Mario Bros. 3, or at least the GBA port of it. That was a very fun game. I very much enjoyed that game, but I didn't purchase that with my own money. That was probably just the game that my parents like bought me with the system.
With the
So
system. Yeah. My
yeah, this
memory
was
of Fire
the
Red
first one.
was probably the reason I played that game. I think it was an illegal ROM that I downloaded on my phone. I was
You
like,
mean you mean it was
Pokemon.
totally legal because you owned the game, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I own
yeah.
that game. It says mine on the little flash thing. It's like make sure you download this thing too. It's like the contract, so you won't go to jail. But no.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun game.
Oh yeah,
Fire
that
Red is one of
that
my
was a
favorite Pokemon games.
good game.
Yeah.
Charizard, number one
Yeah.
Pokemon.
I owned the other version of the game, Leaf Green, but I still loved those games to death.
Very much. When people go back and like everybody has those emulators on their phone nowadays, and everybody's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I'm gonna go back and play Emerald or whatever." Everybody plays Emerald all the time, and I'm like, "What about Fire Red?" I like it more. I think that
Hmm.
Emerald's a very good game, but I like
Yeah.
Fire Red more. I have a lot more nostalgia towards it and a lot more memory. I always kind of get stuck in Emerald at some points. I'm like, "Oh, what am I supposed to do again? Maybe I'm supposed to go to this city," because they weren't super clear all the time. But Fire Red, it got it down. I know everything exactly how it's supposed
I
to go.
Hmm.
remember I'd get lost in the caves and I'd never
Oh
find a way
yeah.
out.
I actually remember that at one point I didn't have Flash, or at least I didn't want to teach it to anybody, and I got through. I believe it was either Dark Cave or something. I don't know if it's called Dark Cave. I don't remember. But the one
It was the
right
Diglett
after
cave, wasn't it?
Cerulean. No, not Diglett Cave. The one right
Oh
after
yeah, I
Cerulean
know which one
City.
you're talking about. I
The
know
one
which
by the
one.
power plant.
Yeah.
Uh, I didn't have Flash, so I just walked through it without Flash, and that was actually pretty intense. 'Cause
Hmm.
I had no idea where I was going, and it was really long, and I had to find
Yeah,
like
it
all those
was.
ladders leading everywhere, and it's pretty hard to do, but I did it.
Hmm.
Love that game.
Hmm.
All
What about
right,
you, Chris?
Chris.
Well, my first game that I bought with my own money. Now, I owned a little console called the PS2 back in the day. The
Really, haven't heard
PlayStation
of
2.
that.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of that
It's the
before.
legacy console that no one has.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh, and I think the first one was Sly Cooper, the original Sly Cooper,
Okay.
and that was it was really good. The stealth mechanics were very redefined as well. The story was actually pretty interesting. That was probably one of the first games I remember actually having a story. You know, trying to collect all the pieces to assemble the Thievius Raccoonus. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
learning all those ancient moves of your ancestors.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Sly Cooper 2, I believe, on the PS2 as well. I don't think I ever played the first one, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I've definitely played the third one a little bit, but I did own the second one. That was a very fun game. How
No,
about
yeah.
you?
The first one was like, I think, was like the real, like, if you're gonna make an analogy, that was the cake. The rest of the games were mostly like, frosting on top of the thing. Because
Mhm.
I didn't really like the Murray and Bentley parts. I know a lot of people do,
Mhm.
but I like the Sly parts of it.
Yeah.
Sneaking around guards, taking their money,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
and
remember
I
when I
think. Yeah.
hold on,
Yeah.
real quick. I remember when I first had that game, I was terrified of like half the things in there. I was one of those kids who never had a memory card, so for every game on the
Oh,
PS2, every time I wanted to play it, I would have to restart from the beginning. So I would have the first like two or three stages down in Sly Cooper 2, but then after that, it would just get kind of scary for me because I still wasn't into that whole like sneaking, type of gameplay, and it was just like, oh god, they're gonna catch me. I'm terrified of this. So I never really got much past like the first like boss. I forget what his name was.
the
That
first
like
boss.
Russian dude or whatever in
Yeah, yeah,
Sly
yeah.
2. I never got much like further past him because I was always kind of just terrified as a kid of like making sure that I didn't get caught.
Hmm.
You got
I'm
Yeah.
on.
anything to say about Sly Cooper, Guillermo?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I never owned a PS2 because like most of the things I owned was like Nintendo related, but I did buy the most recent Sly Cooper game. What was it? Thieves in
Oh,
Time.
Thieves in Time. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought that game. I didn't play it much, but I know I loved the way the game played. I just never really got around to playing it,
Mm.
but I really
Yeah,
do like
I
the way that the game is played. Like you got to like sneak around, you can steal people's money. That was awesome.
yeah, that for the Thieves in Time really encapsulated the first game really, really well. Like, there was the Bentley and Murray parts, but it
Hmm.
was all focused on Sly and like seeing his ancestors and learning all these new moves and how to use them and stuff along the epic boss battles that were really, really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Quick like spin-off topic, really, really quick. So you said that you had owned mostly Nintendo consoles. So what would you guys say was like your brand, I suppose?
Well, like I said, I own mostly Nintendo consoles, so I guess my brand would be Nintendo.
Yeah, I would go PlayStation, PS1 from the
I
beginning.
would actually go directly in the middle because even though I would probably consider myself a Nintendo, fanboy of the sorts, I've owned the GameCube, I've owned the Wii, I've owned all the DSs except for the original one, Game Boys, Wii U, all of that. Um, Starting from probably the GameCube, I don't think I owned any of the NES stuff. Or actually, I had a N64 for a little while, I think. But
Hmm.
at the same time, and I didn't even realize this until a
With the
couple of
broken
months ago.
broken controller that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it's like it's someone put buttons everywhere. They're like, one here,
Yeah.
one there, and then the other one over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It worked. Okay.
That's
uh,
the important part.
yeah. As long as I can play, as long as I can play Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Snap, I'm good.
Those are the best.
But
Those
yeah,
are the
but
best.
even just like a few months after the PS4 came out, I realized, hold on a second, I've owned every PlayStation console too. I've had a PS1, a PS2, PS3, PS4. I've had a PSP. I don't have a Vita, but that might change
The
soon.
the infamous the infamous Vita that we don't have.
Yeah, no,
Try to
none of
win
us
it
have a
on.
Vita.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like everyone says so many good things about it, but then everyone's like, don't buy it.
Yeah, it's like this is the most technologically advanced portable handheld system. Do not buy this.
Do
Yep.
not buy it.
It's just I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. You know,
No,
I
no.
just
Go
I,
go go support PlayStation.
We must
yeah.
support
Go
PlayStation.
do
I
it.
mean,
Go buy a Vita if you don't have one.
support it maybe in the terms of make another portable system. Just make the
If
Yeah.
price
they if
cheaper.
they if they make a third version of it, I would be completely on board. Like remove the back touchpad, give me R2 and
Mm-hmm.
L2.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I believe the new 3DS does that have double triggers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
I believe it does.
I don't remember. I haven't seen one like personally
I've
before.
Yeah, I've seen one before. One of my friends, I was with him and he showed me the new one. I believe there was like trigger buttons and then they also had that little like C stick kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And the colors of the buttons were identical to the SNES
Yeah, yeah,
colors. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I know. I remember looking at some screenshots when it was coming out and stuff, but I can't remember if it has dual triggers or not.
Mhm.
All right, so
Okay.
let's go on to the
Next.
second topic, Chris.
The
Yep.
second topic, we go here to what are the games you go back to every once in a while? Going.
Mhm. Okay.
Guillermo started us last time, so Anthony, you want to take that leap?
Sure. Okay, so games that we go back to. So, um, I'm going to assume that this means games that I want to play either to relax or just to enjoy over again.
Yeah,
So in that, I'm gonna definitely say, regardless of people's opinions on whether this game is actually technically good or not, which I would probably be more on the terms of it's okay but not that great. I'm gonna say Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. I very much enjoy those games. I do have a lot of nostalgia for them. I'm not, like a crazy Sonic fanboy. I'm not gonna go off on people who say that the games aren't that great because honestly they aren't. There's a lot of things wrong with them, but that doesn't mean that they're not fun. They're still very fun to play,
I, I,
especially
I
with that
feel like
Child
I,
World
sh-
stuff.
I feel like I should step back. Guillermo's gonna yell at us.
No, 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 no. I'm not gonna yell. I mean, I can see why you say that because I've loved Sonic for so long, so much,
I have two.
but I know like seeing now, like going back to playing those games, I know like there was a lot wrong with the games. There were so many glitches, so many bugs that you can exploit when doing things.
Sonic 06.
Sonic 06,
Sonic
yes.
06 is a different story, okay?
Yeah,
But
that's completely
that
different.
game just entirely was not finished at all. Not even like
Yeah.
close. But
But then for
so,
some reason that was still a game I bought.
yeah, it was still like a platinum best-selling Xbox 360 game, even though it was so bad, which is
Mhm.
ridiculous. That means it sold 1 million copies.
Mhm.
That's insane. But going back to the Sonic Adventure games,
Adventure.
like
Yeah.
they're still fun games. They're still good games. I would still categorize them as good games. If I were gonna give them a rating, I probably wouldn't give them over a 7. I would probably go somewhere between the 4 to 6 range. But that doesn't
Mhm.
mean that it's terrible. I
Yeah,
would
it's an
definitely
okay game.
recommend them. It's an okay game. Personally, I think they're very memorable games. They're very fun games. I love those games, and I have a
The
lot of nostalgia for
characters.
them.
I have a lot of
Mhm.
questions here because I never played this game.
Really, okay.
Okay.
The characters are those the ones that everyone likes, like the Chaos ones?
I don't know. That's Sonic Heroes.
Oh, okay,
Sonic Heroes is the one that had the Chaotix.
Yeah.
got
Well,
it.
so
There
did
we go.
Knuckles Chaotix, but nobody really
Mhm.
played that.
Yeah. Even though it
And
was
on
such
the
a good game.
Saturn, I believe. No, the 32X came out on the 32X.
Mhm.
Mm,
All right. So,
okay.
is there any other things somebody wants to add about Sonic Adventure, real quick?
Oh, yeah. That was one of the first few games like that I actually owned. It wasn't one of the first that I bought, but because I never bought it until like was released like on a port for PlayStation and Xbox. But it was one of the first games that I owned, and I remember playing it for so long, but I never really got far into the story. But I loved it because of the one quirk that everyone still goes back to it for, and that's the Chow Garden. I just loves going into the Chow Garden and like
The Chow
making new
Garden.
chows. Yeah, I
It's
loved
it sounds like something you would get at Panda Express.
it
The Chow
does.
Garden.
Can I get a Chow Garden, please?
Oh yeah, but I loved going into the Chow Garden. Even though it wasn't as good as like Sonic Adventure 2's was, I would always go into it. It was
Yeah,
so
that
fun.
that was a weird thing. I didn't ever really enjoy the Sonic Adventure Chow Garden because I played that afterwards. I played Sonic Adventure 2 first, and that had so many advanced features in the Chow Garden that the original Sonic Adventure kind of felt a little bit lackluster. It was almost the same thing, but it was not entirely fleshed out because they had all these stats that you could raise, but it didn't really
Hmm.
do anything. You
Hmm.
know, I don't remember if there were mini games. I believe there were a couple mini games,
Yeah, there was like races and stuff in
right?
Sonic
But there was like
Adventure.
just races. I don't think there was
Yeah,
kung fu and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. There wasn't any of that.
Yeah, and also I don't believe you could transform your Chows much,
No.
not nearly as much as you could in Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah,
The thing
yeah.
that I love about Sonic Adventure 2's Chow Garden is that even, now there's still all these hoaxes of like, oh, there's still the Tails Chow, there's the Amy Chow, Knuckles Chow that you can
Hmm.
make. Like, we're all pretty sure that that's not actually in the game, but we see
Yeah.
these screenshots, we see, all these videos, and like, oh, maybe they are in the game. So it was like, for a very long time, even I'd say up to like 2009, 2010, 10
Hmm.
years after or 8 or 9 years after the game originally came out on Dreamcast, like people were
Hmm.
still like figuring things out.
Yep.
It was
even though
amazing.
they just ended up being like action replay things.
Yeah, a lot of them were just hacks and mods.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Well,
moving.
everyone hacks my
Yeah,
hack games, so
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
those
especially older games.
on PC,
Yeah.
older
PC. There
games.
is a PC port, I believe. Yeah, I
Yeah,
own it
there
actually. What
is.
am I talking about? I have it on Steam.
Yep.
Um, so moving on from Sonic, another one that I would say I go back to. I'm just gonna kind of categorize this into platformers in general. If there is a
Mhm.
platforming game that I feel has tight controls, has a decent, level design throughout the game, good music, then I'll probably go back and play it again.
The 3-bit music,
3-bit,
Or
3-bit
even newer
music.
games like
3-bit,
3D World.
three
That was
many
good.
bits.
I don't have
Someone
3D
said.
World or 3D Land. I've played them both. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know if I like the whole isometric type of view for a lot of the levels, but for the most part, like go to Mega Man, you go to DuckTales, all of these old games from the NES and SNES, and you know, I'll still go back, not too often, but I could go back to them and play them and have fun because they're all basically the same type of game, but
Hmm.
there's just a couple of quirks in between each game that makes it a little bit more special than, you know,
Hmm.
than just any generic platformer. So platformers in general, I can always probably go back to, and even when they come out in the future, I'll probably always be interested in them because there's just even though the platforming genre is kind of dying down a lot, especially 3D platformers, it's still something that I enjoy to play.
Hmm.
Yeah, you got the ukulele coming out, 3D platformer.
Ukulele, yep,
Yeah,
PS4, I
by
believe.
the
Hmm.
successor of Banjo and Kazooie. So
Hmm.
Yep, from the people who made that. That'll be interesting when that comes out. Sorry for that little cut there. There was a bit of an interruption, but we're just going to continue, starting from Chris. So,
yeah, so games I go back to, I think, are gonna be recent games for sure. The number one cause of addiction is Destiny. This game has consumed my life so much. I have
It really has.
I have almost 20 days played on this game. It's ridiculous. And Guillermo shares my opinion here on how
Yeah.
it
Because I just checked, like, when was it, this morning? I just wanted to see how long I'd been playing the game for, and I saw it said I have over 300 hours of game time.
where did you check that?
Because on the Bungie site for Destiny, it shows like what your game time is for each character. So I just added up all the characters, and it was
Oh,
like 300 hours.
I don't know how much I have, but I definitely have a lot as well. Probably not as much as you two, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, but I go back to it not because of the addiction craves. No, it's really fun. It gives you a reason to come back to it. It's one of them. I think they nailed it. You come back for the nightfalls and the weeklies and the raid resets. But yeah, it just makes you. It almost it doesn't force your hand because it's not a bad game. Like if this game was had really bad gameplay, then I wouldn't play it at all. But it does have really good gameplay, and it's that extra step of, you know, I want to get the new exotic. I want to get the new Galahorns they're selling today, August 14th, National Day.
Yep. Yep.
National Galahorn Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Destiny's definitely a really fun game. I put a lot of time into it as well. There was probably from the day it released, probably for 3 months, I played that game daily. I never really stopped during that time, but then I definitely did stop for about 3 or 4 months after like a couple of months into the game until the Dark Below came out. A little bit after that, I started playing again, and since then I've been playing a lot more often as well. I've been enjoying it a lot more. Ever since the DLCs came out, it added a little bit to the game, not a crazy amount, and it, like you said, it has some sort of reason to bring you back every week, every couple of days. Especially now with Trials of Osiris, every weekend.
Hmm.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Going flawless. Done it a few
Oh
times now.
no, not done that yet.
It's definitely a fun time.
Very fun time.
So,
There.
Guillermo,
Okay.
I don't
So
know if you've gone yet.
yeah. Okay. So some games that I go back to, like I always like want to go back to, but like just recently. my Wii U, like its power brick broke, so I can't really do it now. But I had always gone back to Super Mario, or I mean to what am I talking about? That's for something else. Sorry, ignore what I was just saying.
Just ignore it.
And games that I go back to are things like Pokemon. Like I've been playing those since I was a kid, right?
Yes.
So every time there's a new one, I usually go out and buy it. I mean, with the most recent one, I did go out and buy it. I didn't play much of it though, but I probably will. But I always love to go back to Pokemon because of how fun it is. Like, it makes me like the child I was back then. I feel the same way when I play it then and now.
I
That's why I love to go back to the game.
I agree with you completely, except for the point that I don't feel like a kid playing the game anymore. I feel a lot better. I understand the mechanics. I understand everything that makes the game more complex than most people think it is. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're playing." Well, not a lot of people. A lot of people do like Pokemon, but some people are like, "Oh, you're playing Pokemon. That's a little kids game. You just like fight monsters or
But yeah,
whatever." But it's like it's a
yeah,
lot deeper than just that.
yeah, that was always on my outside view, but then I finally got to play it, and now it's like, this is actually pretty fun. Like I don't understand those people who always keep judging, and mostly those people judge because they're video games in general. You get seen playing the 3DS or a DS, like, look at this guy, he's playing video games. You're like, well, everyone plays video games nowadays. I feel
Yeah.
I feel now it's more accepted than before
Definitely.
because
Even
everyone does
more than
play
five,
games.
6 years ago. But Pokemon specifically, very fun game, very very deep if you can get into it. I agree. Same thing. I've been buying the last couple Pokemon games since Black and White 2, at least, almost right when they come out. But for Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, I have Alpha Sapphire. I played it for a week, got to like the third or fourth gym, but it's still the same game as the third gen games. It's the same game. It has more stuff, a couple more things. The graphics are obviously different. There's a lot more Pokemon, but it's still the
Hmm.
same base story, the same thing going on. So I wasn't really
Hmm.
invested
It's
in it.
it's the
Com-
you get the
Completely
basic
different.
mechanics inside the every single game. Like every single game, maybe it doesn't play the same because there's different characters and stuff like that, but the blueprint is there. You just fill it
Hmm.
Yeah,
out.
I would say that blueprint was definitely changed a lot though with X and Y. A
Yeah,
lot of new
I'm
things
not
were
saying I'm not
added.
saying it. I'm not saying it's completely stale, like it stays that way ever.
Right,
But
and that's
It has
they
that's
changed.
don't
something that
they
I
don't
definitely
they don't
commend.
change what's broken.
Right,
Yep.
that's true. I definitely commend the addition of Mega Evolutions because people are kind of upset about it when it first came out, but now people are like, it's all right, it's not a big deal. But it's
Yep.
new. It changes the metagame. It changes, you know, everything really. Now most people
Hmm.
they have to surround or not completely base their team off of one Mega. You don't have to, but a lot of people do now.
Hmm.
That's a
Yep.
strategy that people have to use now, or if they want
Yeah,
to.
and I think it was a good way to like bring people in. Like that was when Mega Evolutions got announced. I heard about that was the more I heard more about Pokemon that day than I ever did in my entire life before then. Like everyone was talking
Hmm.
about it. It was like they got Mega Evolutions. You should come try them. Some
Yeah.
people didn't
Mega
like them, like
Charizard,
Anthony
Mega
said.
Blastoise, Mega Venusaur. That was an
Hmm.
amazing idea, both in terms of gameplay and marketing. They were
Hmm.
marketing towards the older generation of Pokemon players, and that
Yeah,
was really smart.
Hmm. Yeah,
Definitely
it
smart.
was.
because those are the people
Um,
who they grew up with
who
the games like
left?
you guys did,
They grew
and
up with the
yeah,
Yep.
games. They left
and
after second or third gen, and now they feel like there's a reason for them to come back. They're not going to be completely lost, like they
yeah,
might have been in like Black and White or something, where things were completely different. There
they
was
they
absolutely
were
no
they were changing.
Pokemon.
That was the cheat. Yeah,
Yeah, there was
there's no
no
point. I was
Pokemon
about
from
to say that.
any other region in the first Black and White game. Something I was gonna say about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Like it took me a while to beat them. It took me a couple months because I left them for a while because I already knew everything that was going on. But when X and Y came out, that whole sense of like this is new, this is an original idea. Even if it is
Hmm.
Pokemon, everything is different. I beat that game in
Yep.
2 days. And
Yep.
even
So did
now,
I.
I still haven't gone back to do the looker missions, but because there's always something there for me to go back to if I ever have to, or if I ever want
Hmm.
to, I should say.
Yep.
Oh, and then
I agree.
what's
Hmm.
just to point that out there, I just completely forgot. Any game that has trophies or achievements, I will go back to playing
That's true.
for sure.
Hmm.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, that's why people go back to Pokemon so they can try to catch all the Pokemon, like it says in the trailers. Like you gotta catch them
Gotta
all,
catch them all.
and
I caught them
yep,
all back in X and Y, and now I don't have to catch them all again because I can just transfer them over.
yep.
Get that shiny
And
charm.
then, yep, okay. And then now a different game more recently that it was like a year ago or two that I found out about what it was. I found out about it from people on YouTube, and then I found out it came out on PS3 because that's what I was playing mostly at the time. And it's called Terraria.
Oh yes.
A lot of you might know what it is. These two know that I put so much time into that game.
He
Like
has the
I would
platinum.
not play with them. Yeah, I got the platinum on the PS3. It's like cross platinum between PS3 and PS4, but I got the platinum on
The day
PS3, and it
after I
was
did.
the day after he did because we were like getting it at the same time, me and Anthony,
But there was a glitch
and
trophy. There was a
there was
trophy
like,
where you have
yep,
to collect all the armor pieces in the game, and we had them all, but it didn't work sometimes.
yeah,
It was very, very buggy, and I just happened to get it to work before he did.
yeah, like he got it like when was it like probably during like midday tonight, and then the next day I tried it just so I could just try it because I want the platinum because that was the last one I needed, and after like two tries of like putting all of them on, grabbing them all, I finally got the platinum. But I love that game so much because since that day, I still go back to it because they keep adding more stuff to the console version of the game. And now since I use a Mac, I couldn't really play it on like a computer because well, it wasn't
It
for
was
it
PC
until just
only.
a few. Yeah, it was only PC and then like mobile and console. So just a few like a week or two ago from now, um, they announced like a beta version for the Mac. And when I heard about it, I was so ecstatic because I'd play that game so much when it was on PS3 and PS4. And then now, just like a few days ago, they announced the full game. So I'm probably gonna go back to it again.
Yeah, that's the game that looks like Minecraft, but isn't Minecraft. A lot of people
Yeah, it
might.
looks, yeah, so many people compare the two games,
I
but
don't know
they're
why.
completely different
They're
games. Yeah,
very,
just
very
because
different.
there's just the like exploration
I
aspect
feel like
and
it's
like the building aspect.
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it's because the building, first of all, and also because those were two of the first games that really became popular that kind of took that idea of crafting and survival and put and
Hmm.
building and put it together.
Yeah.
Nowadays, every other indie game it has a
Uh,
crafting system, you know.
Yep.
But those two games
even
are kind of the
AAA
first few
games.
popular ones. Even
Yeah,
AAA
even
games do
AAA games
too.
try it.
I don't know. I've heard that like Advanced Warfare has something like that. I think. I have no idea.
I don't
I don't
know.
think
I haven't
I
played the
don't
game,
think it
so I don't
has
know.
that. It has the
No,
drops.
Oh
has
yeah, it has the
drops.
drops, the legendary
Has like
drops.
loot and stuff. I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
You know.
but yeah, I love Terraria so much, and like I said, I'm probably gonna go back to it because they added the this new event called the Lunar event, and I haven't been able to play it because it was only on PC and now it's on Mac, so I'm gonna be playing that game a lot in the coming days, I assume. And one more game that I play, like that I like to go back to, is one that Anthony showed me. It's called Civilization 5.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
when I first heard about it, when he told me about it and he said like just like he kept like pestering me to play it with him, I was like, I don't even know what this game is. I don't know how to play
You
it.
hated it.
And then I really I hated the game. I don't know why. I
You
just
didn't know how
never
to
gave it
play.
a chance.
You
Yeah,
didn't.
because I didn't know how to
You
play.
didn't know what you were doing. You were just clicking random things. That's exactly how I started
Yeah.
with that game. I didn't really
Yeah,
know
and then like
what to do.
yeah, I started like reading things online, like some like forums and stuff on how to play like correctly, so to say. So then after like a week of playing the game, I finally like found my rhythm of how to play, and for that reason, like I always came back to the game, and I have like 100 hours or something in the game now. I love it so
It doesn't
much, and
sound
then
like a ton to many Civ players, but
it doesn't sound a ton because I only found out about it recently, but like to me, I feel like I play that game a lot. Like I always come back to it if I'm ever bored and there's nothing for me to play. That and then like I said, Pokemon and Terraria are three games that I always go back to.
mm, mm.
so that was the first half of the BoostPad podcast.
Hmm.
So if you want to see the second half, be sure to tune in on Wednesday. But for those of you who are viewing this as a full set, let's just get started with that right now.